Hey, everybody, it's Casey hanging out with you on the Wall to Wall Country Show on this Wednesday. And now we've already had one interview earlier in the show today. And every once in a while, I have the opportunity to have two interviews in one show. And this is a very special interview that I have coming up of a gentleman that I'm talking to. Now, you guys know him as a singer, songwriter, artist, performer, award winner. Just off the charts, been around for a long time, been doing a lot of things in the country music industry. Everybody knows him as a performer on stage, wicked piano player, seen his shows, but he's also a writer of a lot of songs that you may or may not realize that he's written. But so excited to have this guy coming back to the Peak on Friday. We're going to be giving away a set of tickets for that in just a little bit, too. But right now, we're chatting with the one, the only, the man of the hour, Mr. Phil Vassar. Hey, Phil, how are you?
Wow, Casey, how you doing, man? You're rocking today, man. And what about my dancing?
Oh, I forgot about
that. Oh, yeah.
Darn.
Yeah. Well, I can't dance. I'm kidding.
Well,
how are you doing?
You play up when you stand all the time when you play your piano most of the time anyway. I think your feet are going there, so I'll consider that dancing.
Well, yeah, I'm more of a mover and a shaker than a dancer. I'll take it. How are you doing, girlfriend?
I am doing awesome and looking forward to you coming back to the venue again on Friday. You always pack the house and everybody loves your show. And I think one of the things that they love about your show the most, and you know, everybody kind of has their own thing on how they do things, but I love, and I don't know if you do this for every show, but I love when you just throw it out to the audience and you're like, all right, what do you guys want to hear? And, you know, somebody shouts out a tune and you're like, okay, and you just break into it and everybody's singing and clapping and dancing. I mean, I don't think a lot of performers do their lineup quite like that. I think that's really awesome.
Well, I do too. I like it. I mean, I haven't had a set list in years, man. I just like to know what everybody wants to hear and I play it, and you know, it's more off the cuff, and it's just, you know, I've seen a million acts, and they do the same song, same list, every night set list, and it's just like, oh. So about the 100th show, you're just like on cruise control, and you're not really, I mean, this way it just keeps us on our toes. It's very impromptu, and, you know, everybody's just having a good time, and I love it that way. And, I mean, playing Penn's Peak is awesome. It's one of the prettiest venues in the country, hands down, and it's just beautiful. So, I mean, I'm excited to get back, and so thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, well, we appreciate it and appreciate the compliments too. It is a beautiful building and it's nice view, and I know a lot of artists like to come here. It's got great acoustics. It's kind of like a big log home and inviting like 1,700 of your favorite friends to.
Exactly what it's like. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, I love it. I always say, man, this is what I want my house to look like.
Yeah.
Piano in it and have some fun in the old big log house.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. That's the best way I like to describe it. Now, Phil, everybody knows a lot of your background and everything you've accomplished and all of your songs and stuff. So I have a couple questions that might be a little different than the average interview. And one of them is, you know, when you're traveling or you're getting ready to go out on the road and you do a lot of shows every year, and before you hop in the bus or you hop in the plane, let me ask you, do you have something that you take along, whether it's a I don't know, good luck charm or maybe your pet, your fur baby? Is there something that you won't leave and head to a show unless you have it with you? I'm just curious.
You know what? I don't know. Not really. I don't. I mean, it sounds boring, but it's just, you know, it's your routine. I just have to make sure I pack underwear and stuff like that. Oh, my God, I forgot blue jeans, you know, or shoes. And, you know, that's the thing about the bus. Usually you have everything you need on it. And you know, a lot of the guys some of the guys have blenders and make this or shakes or kale I mean, it's funny how everybody has their own little routines. But yeah, we do. You know, it's like we're kind of like to kind of go to gyms and do all that different stuff when I get to town. But I like to, whenever I come to a city, I just kind of like to go out into the city and not just stay on the bus all day and do my show. I like to get out and have some fun and go to local restaurants and things like that. That's my favorite thing.
No, I think people will be looking forward to seeing you again. And you're just so down home. And last time you were here, you know, you actually had the opportunity to come over to the studio. We were hanging out. Oh my gosh.
It was awesome. We had so much fun that day.
I know. It was like 3 hours of just like having a conversation. You know, it was really cool. Carrie and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, y'all were like, you can leave now.
Well, it was kind of getting to like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, dude, I want to go home.
You sure? I mean, well, okay, so kick me out.
Well, we did enjoy you for quite some time. It was just fun. I mean, we just had a blast with you here, and you're just one of those artists that's just so down to earth. You're like a normal human being, and and we love that about you and about and not very many, but a few other artists that really just kind of stroll on over, and they're like, hey, I'm here to talk to somebody, and it's like, oh, hi, how you doing?
It's fun.
So you mentioned that you do like to go out and check out the local restaurants and stuff like that, and I know one day they were like, "Who's that guy jogging up and down the road out here?" Because we're on top of the mountain, and going down's the easy part. Coming back up, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is, because I didn't see him. Like, I don't know who it is, and then finally we're like, oh, that's Phil Vassar out there running up and down the road. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's definitely a good workout coming up and down that hill. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, you don't have to worry about going to the gym when you're up here. We got a huge parking lot and stuff.
Exactly.
What are some of the other things? Now, do you like to do these things on kind of like an impromptu basis, or is there a couple favorite places in town that you like to go?
Well, it's just, you always like to talk to the folks that live there and say, man, you need to do this, because that's when you get to the best. I don't want to go to a chain restaurant and it's like I can eat that in Nashville or whatever, but I like to go to it's like certain hamburger joints or certain food places. It's always about the food or the little pubs or bars or things like that. I like that, and of course the way Penn's Peak's set up, it's such a great dressing room, and the food's always so good, so it's always fun, and you really don't have to go anywhere, but it's it's just all my buddies come up there, and like last time a buddy of mine brought like 40 people with him in a bus, so it's just one of my best friends lives up in that area, so it's just fun to see your buds and hang out, and and then you have to go to the next place, so you just it's just fun. I like having a good time and enjoying it. I'm having more fun playing music now than I've ever had, I think, and that's good.
Yeah. And I think you get to that point of where it's work. Yeah, it's work, and and you're doing it because it's your job and all that. But when you can really just let your hair down, and just like I said, your shows are just so casual and so much fun. But let me ask you this now: if you had to change your career tomorrow, like you were like, all right, I'm done with music, I'm done with performing, I'm done with all that. Is there something else that, kind of like a bucket list thing? Like if I ever had the chance to do something as a job, do you have one of those? And what would it be?
Well, when I was younger, I thought about being a doctor, right? So
wow.
I went to school and did all that, and then went to business school and did that. So, I mean, it's you always want to do. It's like all my buddies that are athletes want to be singers. All my singer buddies want to be athletes or actors want to be singers, and it's kind of fun because we're all living this sort of charmed life that we get to do something we really, really love, and I do love it. So I don't know. I just I've always thought it would have been fun to be a pro golfer or something like that, or travel the world doing something like that, but I'm just really lucky to do what I love. I mean, every day I get up and I think, man, I get to go sing and run around and play piano tonight and have a good time. And so, I mean, really, 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 I'm just a blessed guy. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, now, Phil, I'm sure over the years you've been asked to be a spokesperson for different things or certain causes, and you play for certain causes or whatever. Do you have a specialty cause yourself that kind of comes to mind when you're like, okay, we're going to do a benefit and this is what I want it to help out, a disease or a cause or whatever? Do you have a special cause? And if it is, what is it and why is it so important to you?
Well, I have a girls' home, an orphanage called the Miller Home for Girls back home in Virginia. And, to me, it was one of those things where when I was in youth group and we were singing and doing Christmas shows, we'd go over to this little orphanage for girls, and we'd sing for them for Christmas. And I just remember being, holy crap, this is like the most, I could imagine not having parents and living in a foster home or whatever, or living in an orphanage, So when years ago, when I had the chance, I really sort of got behind it and took this over, and for these girls, it has changed into this amazing place. It was about to go away and go under. And our kids we're sending them to college. These kids are growing up and getting married and having families of their own now. And it's just that's been my dream and been my passion for a long time. And I love it. I do a concert every year. I've had my friends like, Little Big Town and Charlie Daniels and Huey Lewis. A bunch of my buddies have done this with me just to support this thing, and I do a golf tournament every year, and so it's my passion. Anything for kids too, and having daughters and growing up with just a mother, right, and just a grandmother, and my sisters and my nieces and my daughters. I'm the only man in my family, so it's like it was just a natural evolution for me to do something like this.
Awesome, and you still it's still going, and you're still you're still supporting this home.
Absolutely, every year we do it, and it's become a huge event, and like I said before, it's like when you see something like that, and when you can change somebody's life like that, it's a huge thing, and we're just having so much fun, and these girls are all, in the last 10 years, you see them growing up and go to college and graduate and become. It's a real amazing thing that you can be part of somebody's life and change it like that. So I'm very thankful to everybody that helped me do that.
I was going to ask you now. Obviously, if it's been going on, you're seeing the evolution of these girls and how their lives maybe have changed over those 10 years. Do you continue to stay in contact with all the girls, or is it just so many that it's really difficult, but you're able to see, the progress and how they are turning out?
Well, yeah, we do, we try to keep up with, everything they're doing, where they are now, what they're doing in their lives. And it's really, like I said, then they have babies and it's like, holy smoke, look at this, it's like you're really sort of part of their family. And I can't say enough about it. I love it.
You're like a grandfather to like 100 children out there.
Yeah, well, better than being the father. Let me tell you, I've got two, and that's probably enough for me right now.
In your travels, Phil, I'm sure you have lots of stories that you could tell if you were going to write a book and, just highlight some of the favorite stories of your career, or maybe something that happened at a show, or, if you broke down and it turned into a really cool whatever. Can you recall and tell us a story about something that was, really, really epic in your career, of things that turned out to be like a really neat something that happened that wasn't planned? You know what I mean? Like a story of one of your tours, or one of your tour dates, or one of your shows or something. If you were going to write a book.
I could, it's so funny because when you're in the heat of the fight, you forget about all the cool stuff you're doing. How many times I've gotten to play the White House, how many times I've been across the world and, all around it, doing so many cool different things, and being at Abbey Road and meeting some of the biggest artists ever, and get to sing songs with everybody from Earth, Wind and Fire to Kenny Rogers, and I don't know, man. It's just we just like to have fun. It was funny. We were up in Pennsylvania one night I can't remember where it was. I want to say it was like Harrisburg or somewhere, and we were just kind of sitting there, and Jeff, me and my guitar player, he put his guitar player, and we just sat on the side of the road, and on the set there we started singing, and people started giving us tips. It was funny.
Nice.
Man, I think we made like $30 extra that night.
There you go. Good for dinner.
No, but it's just fun to get to do what we do, but you do, sometimes you just sort of take for granted. It's like, holy crap, I've gotten to meet every president and hang out with this and that, and stuff that I never would have expected. Some East Coast kid growing up in middle of nowhere, and just getting to do all this really, really cool stuff. So yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
That's cool. You have an abundance of information. You've lived a lot of different things, like you just got done saying. You've traveled, you've done this, you've done that. You started out in a small little town in Virginia, and realized your dream and went after it and things like that. However, there seems to be a lot of, and it seems now more than ever, and I don't know if it's because of the TV shows or the recognition, or if it's the social medias or just life in general. It seems like there's so many young people, artists that want to get out there and want to live that dream. if you had some pieces of advice that you think that they need to take to heart, what would be a couple of pieces of advice for these kids who are out there looking at you and going, I want to do what he's doing. I want to live the dream. I want to get the golden ring. I want to do all that. What's something that they need to keep to heart?
Well, I think you just need to do what you do. And I think there's so many artists and writers and stuff that are doing the same thing everybody. They want to be just like that. Mm-hmm. And they're writing songs just like that. I think individuality is so important in our genre. There's just a lot of artists that are going to come out and sound just like somebody else and just go away. So I think, it's the ones that break ground. And I think about like guys like Elvis and people like that, made a huge impact on everybody's lives and changed the business forever. The Johnny Casses and the Merle Haggard, who's my first concert, that was a singer-songwriter, and I just sat there and just in awe of them, right? And then, so I was always big into those guys, the Jackson Browns and the Billy Joels and Elton Johns and Tom Petty's and Willie Nelson, people that wrote the songs and changed the world with their music. And, I think that's what it's all about. I mean, there's a million people that can sing. There's a million people that can write, but it's something that there's some point of difference there that has to make you different and be individual, not just like the same guy with a tractor hat that sings about trucks and cars and drinking. And it's the same thing over and over. It's like, look, what else you got,
Yeah.
So let's just be different, do something different. Find something that makes you, that individual,
Unique and special and
exactly.
And rememberable, I guess, too.
Right, exactly. Memorable is the whole thing. It's like, there's a lot of talent, but you just, it's like, well, okay, there's another great singer. It's just like, it's like the people, like, I always think about somebody like Bonnie Raitt to me, who can sing one note and just rip your guts out. And she didn't have to go, like, or that guitar player, that can just sit there and play that note and Stevie Ray Vaughan to me was like that. He was, nobody could ever touch him. It was just like something in his fingers when it touched that guitar, it just made it magical, mm-hmm. and Billy Joel at the piano and Bruce Hornsby, people like that. I'm just like, holy smoke. So it's just something about the soul that emotes from your body into the music. And, I don't know what it is. It's just like people want to do it because they want to be famous or they want to make money or be rich or whatever. Then I think you're just going to fail. I think it's going to be terrible,
Yeah, they got to get outside the box and have something, like you said, memorable or unique. And unfortunately, that's not something you can teach somebody. They either got to have it or they don't. And unfortunately,
right.
A lot of them don't,
No, they don't. And it's, it's okay. You figure that out. And then, I just think you have to find something that makes you unique and sets you apart. That's all, know, and it's just, that's easier said than done, but
yeah, absolutely.
It's not like Bruce Springsteen's the greatest singer in the world, but he's a great artist. He's the greatest artist and singer and performer. And you don't listen to his voice and go, wow, that's magic. It's just like his song, him singing his songs mm-hmm. is an amazing thing, so it's like you have to, that's the thing.
That when you're hearing a Bruce Springsteen song, or even like when you're hearing a Phil Vassar song, it's not a blur into who's that? Oh boy, that sounds like, that sounds, you know what I mean? You've got that. You got to get that niche. You got to get something that sets you apart.
And like it or not, whether you like it or not. I mean, like, it's like some people don't like certain things or certain people, whatever, but it's like, but if it's, if it's, you can distinguish it from somebody else, that's a good thing. It's just, you have to, is Mick Jagger the greatest singer ever? No, it's just, but he is, but it's him, or whoever. But
yeah.
It's like, I just saw the Stones this past year. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. They're 75. What in the heck?
Yeah. Yeah. So still going.
I think you can, exactly. And Tony Bennett or whoever, it's like you can still do it forever if you want to. And if you just do what you do,
Yeah. That's gotta be tough though. I mean, like, I know you guys love it, but to, every day to get up and to go out on that stage and to get the energy and, especially for you where you're like, having the audience, be a huge part of your show and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it might change the show up a little bit, but it's still the same songs. It's like, how do people like in your bracket or, some of those other artists, how do they keep going? How do they get that? Where the hell do they get the energy from, and to keep it fresh?
Think you do it because you love it. I mean, I do. I mean, it's like you get to a point, do you have to do it anymore? No. But do you want to do it? Is it part of your soul and part of what you are and your very being and to your core? Yes. I think that's what you have to figure out, what it is that makes you want to do that, And it isn't, it isn't anything. You think Willie Nelson's 85, do you think he still needs to go play or whatever? He doesn't. He just does it because that's what he is. It's it's like breathing to him,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you get to a point where you do that. And some people, that they just love it, So it's, you have to love it to do what we do. You have to.
No doubt.
If you're doing it for the money, then money comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes but it's just the love of love of entertaining. That's what I love. I love to entertain and see people having fun.
So speaking of entertainment, what's next for Phil Vassar? Is there something else kind of cooking or brewing? I mean, you're still out performing, you're writing songs and stuff, but is there possibly something down the pike that is new for Phil Vassar?
Well, we've been doing my TV show, Songs from the Cellar. It's been fabulous. I've had Peter Frampton and Styx and, Vince. And I mean, I've done Mike Tyson did my show. I've had Carrot Top. I've had everybody. So we're doing this thing in my cellar. And so, I think, Hunter did it, some of the new guys like, 1,000 Horses or whoever. But I've had singer-songwriters come down and do my cellar. We talk and have a glass of wine. And now we're getting ready to take it out to Sonoma and Napa and all over the world. So it's really, really blowing up, all over Europe and about to come to the States. So yeah, it's a big deal. So anyway, be watching for that. That's going to be fun.
Now, when they want to find information, is it strictly on a website, Phil? You got the social medias going on. I see you on Twitter and Facebook all the time.
Yeah, we do that stuff. But for the show, basically it's over in Europe. It's in London and all over. But right now, we haven't brought it to the States, but it's just now starting to air on Fox, and we're bringing it out in the next couple of weeks. So it's it's really, really cool. So I mean, it's some of the artists that I've gotten to do this thing that are doing it with me. It's fabulous. So it's really we just talk about music, and talk about songs, and talk about whatever, the wine and life, and it's really been fun.
Awesome.
Being able to sing and have a glass of wine at the same time and talk and tell stories, that's pretty daggone cool.
Well, you're going to be able to do that, with a full house, full log home feeling on Friday. Break out the box of wine and
you better believe we will, baby.
Pass it around and tell a story or two on stage. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. And anything you want to tell those potential ticket goers a little bit about the show if they've never seen you before? What's something that they should be looking forward to?
That's the best show ever.
Yeah, of course. Hello.
We really have fun, and we've got the new record out now on American Soul, and we're doing a couple of songs from that. All the hits, having a great time, and it is. It's just the band's great. We're having a great time this year, and tour's just been ridiculous. So we've had a great time.
Well, we're going to spin some of those tunes and some of the new ones and some of the older stuff to get people all jacked up about the show coming in on Friday. Phil Vassar going to be right here at the venue. Looking forward to having him back again. I mean, you come here at least once a year, I think, and people just love it.
Got to. Love it. It's so much fun.
Awesome. Well, listen, Phil, I've taken up much of your time. I really, really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day today. And we're going to try to give away a couple sets of tickets here in a little bit to get people ready for the big show Friday night. Looking forward to seeing you. And safe travels, my friend.
Casey, thanks, sweetheart. I'll see you in a couple of days.
All right. Take care, my man. Bye-bye.
Bye, honey.